What's up, y'all? It is Savage Radio, 89.7 FM, KSVG. We just heard. What did we hear? I have to find Jimmy Castor is what I had to find. Troglodyte was the name of that song. Velvet Underground before that. There She Goes Again off of Velvet Underground and Nico. And we let it off with the Unicorns, taking us to 2003 with Tough Ghost. All right. I have a very special guest here in the studio. He is.
Hi, Earl.
Hey, how you doing? Can we hear you?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Right on. Why don't you tell people who you are and what organization you represent?
Well, Earl, my name is Shep Howell. I am from NOAA. Now, we are the National Organization for the Abolishment of Homelessness.
Okay.
What we do is we offer financial services and advice to homeless people in order to have them pull themselves up out of the gutter by their own bootstraps.
How does your organization specifically give aid to the homeless?
In a number of ways. Like I said, mainly through financial planning and advice. Our advisors, if a homeless person would like, they know where to find us throughout most cities. Now, we have a pretty established presence in most major cities throughout the United States. One of the big things, for example, that we teach is how to save money, for example, in lodging. For example, many homeless people don't realize that their cities have 24-hour bus lines and subway lines that run 24 hours a day. And so rather than have to stay somewhere where it's dangerous or cold, they could stay in a nice, warm subway car.
What are some other tips you have to help the homeless survive out there on the streets? It can be pretty hard.
Oh, we have many. I guess one of the big homeless people, there's a problem with alcoholism in the homeless community, as you might be aware. So rather than spend money on alcohol, we advise homeless people who, we just tell them this. You don't have to be behind bars to make your own Pruno. All you need is
So you advocate for the homeless to make their own Pruno in order to save money?
Well, Earl, all they need is some bread, sugar, and juice in a bag. I mean, it's a lot cheaper than having to go to the store and buy alcohol. So yes, you'd be able to save quite a bit of money. Other things we teach homeless people is not to throw money into wishing wells or fountains, for that matter.
That is solid advice. That you're just wasting money on superstitions.
We teach them how to properly get hit by a car in order to minimize personal damage and maximize monetization.
What's the technique for that? Is there a way you arrange your body where it hits parts that aren't crucial?
Well, if you'd buy my book, the NOAA Guide to Pulling Yourself Up Out of the Gutter, you could find out the actual technique you might need to use. I'll give you guys I'll give you a little teaser. Try to be in a turn lane. Cars are already slowing down usually by that point. And I guess one other big tip we have would be, I'd have to say, pigeons are a problem in many major metropolitan areas throughout the United States. What we advise is the homeless to not only capture the pigeons, but also consume them as well in order to save money on food.
That's a great idea. You're taking care of two stones. You're getting rid of the pigeons. The homeless are getting fed.
I've always said, we get rid of those filthy varmints once and for all, and the pigeons. So it's win-win.
Exactly. Tell me a little bit about your book, The NOAA Guide to Surviving Homelessness. What was it called?
The NOAA Guide to pulling yourself up out of the gutter by your own bootstraps.
Is that a subtitle? Is that the main title, or?
The NOAA Guide is the actual title. Pull yourself up out of the gutter by your own bootstraps is the subtitle. This is pretty much a manual that any homeless person should have in order to get out of their situation as quickly as possible. Little tips, the big ones, shower, get some clothes, try to find a job,
Eat pigeons.
eat. That's actually in the book.
Is there any pigeon recipes in the book?
We don't have to actually teach the recipes. Many people already know how to clean a bird, so no, Earl, there aren't any. That's don't be silly. I mean, there aren't any recipes for how to cook pigeons in this book.
That's the part that's silly. You're right. So when did you begin advocating for the homeless? What was your life before this became your calling?
Well, I used to be the CFO of a large investment firm.
What's a CFO? I don't know what that is.
That's a CFO. That's what exactly.
Oh, okay. You're saying you're a chief financial officer.
I'm sorry, it was industry speak. I don't mean to be to seem pretentious here.
Okay.
I was a CFO at a large investment firm, Johnson Paulson, Georgeson, and Ringoson, located in downtown Los Angeles. I would go to work every day. I would have to ride the subway. I actually live Sunset and Vermont area, East Hollywood, Los Feliz. I'm right by the red line. And I would go every day, and the intersection I'd see of Hollywood and Vermont, Sunset and Vermont, I see these encampments. And then I go downtown and I see these other encampments. And I mean, it would just break my heart how much money I'd lose every day having to walk through these people and having them ask me for everything of mine. I ride the subway. I end up smelling like them. You're tripping over them at one point, and I
mean, this kind of seems like you have a bit of open contempt for the homeless. Do you feel like your point of view is stigmatizing homelessness and making them feel like they're not wanted? Or it seems like you're coming at it from a weird point of view.
Well, rightly so. That's actually the attitude that we have here at NOAA. You shouldn't be homeless. Homelessness shouldn't exist. Homelessness is a problem. If you're homeless, you're contributing to it. So I mean, what is good about being homeless? There's really not. Homeless people don't like being homeless either, and I'm sure homeless people don't like other homeless. I'm sure homeless people. I've been told on multiple occasions that homeless people prefer non-homeless people to homeless people.
Well, you're based in the Los Angeles area. I don't know if you've heard about this here in Bakersfield. There is a big tent city built up on South Union. People are trying to figure out what to do with the homeless in there. What would you advise for the city of Bakersfield?
I would advise heavy equipment, usage of heavy equipment in order to raise these encampments.
This seems very cruel. They're human beings. They need to sleep somewhere, and the homes aren't free. You know what I mean?
You're right. But our solution is to get money and then a home. And so once that is achieved, nobody will have to worry about that. I mean, you're right. There are human lives that could be lost, but they're not because, we're saving people from homelessness.
What do you mean about lives that could be lost?
Well, if we don't achieve the results that we're after, NOAA already actively encourages suicide.
By the way, what does NOAA stand for again?
The National Organization for the Annihilation of the Homeless.
Okay.
We actively encourage suicide. Actually, upon every visit, it's the first thing that anybody hears when they come through our doors. Have you considered suicide? If they haven't, then we go on to everything else. We teach them that if you don't like eating pigeons, don't be homeless. If you don't like living as a homeless person, don't be homeless. Kill yourself.
Are you familiar with the eugenics movement of the early 20th century?
This
do you take any inspiration?
To do, Earl, homelessness is not genetic. That is homelessness.
Okay. So how much progress has your organization made in quote-unquote eradicating the homeless problem?
Well, that's actually a tough one. It's tough to come up with a metric or quantify these in simple and good terms. I mean, homelessness always grows, and shrinks with the population and the economy. Very cyclical. We can tell you this, that we're working very closely with the United States government in order to secure financing for not final. What would be another word for final, Earl?
A total and complete destruction?
No. Terminal solution.
A terminal solution for the homeless problem.
We're working right now in the government under Operation Tainted Soup. Actually,
I don't think you need to explain any more about
with soup kitchens around the country, and
I can't put up with this. You came here, you emailed me a couple days ago saying you were with this organization and you were doing good things. This is a community radio station. I wanted to reach out to other nonprofits and see and find out what you're doing to help the community.
We're doing our part in order to annihilate homelessness and the homeless.
Sir, I find your whole existence disgusting, and I hope that you fail at this operation.
I find homelessness existence disgusting.
Well,
here at NOAA, we're actually doing something about that. Please visit our website, NOAA, and then except for the last H, it'll be homeless. So the NOAA will be NOA, and then that last H is just spell out the word homelessness.com. And you'll find out all the information. Your listeners can find out all the information they need there.
Fine, I'll let people make up their mind for themselves. I'll be open-minded here. I just want to say I hope your organization fails.
Earl, let me ask you this. Do you have a problem with homelessness?
The concept, but not the people?
Rightly so, but have you ever thought that the homeless are people? Weren't you just telling me that the homeless are people?
This is some really gross circular logic. I'm going to have to tell you to have a good night, and I wish you all the worst in everything you're trying to do. I want to apologize to the audience. You have a good one. Bye-bye. He's gone. That was odd. Kind of weird. Savage Radio, that guy called me under completely false pretenses. I want to apologize to the listeners for having to put up with that awful, awful man.